able to see my screen?
Okay, just a minute. I want here. I'm sharing. I will share my screen. Another. Okay, please.
Okay. So this was like the cost centers I was doing. I able to see them. Yeah, for this, so earthworks, foundation, external works, MEP,
But
interior
this,
fit out.
Mamani, sorry, it is not a cost center. It's a material center.
A material center, material center.
Mm.
Then, so these were like the materials I wanted to use. Then, so I wanted to categorize them under the cost. So I'm color coding them according to the cost centers. These are the materials that will be used under each
saw
cost
it
center.
yesterday. They are very colored one.
Yeah, it looks so. Yeah, it looks so. Yes. But Rafa, why are you laughing?
Yes. Okay, it is very didactic. It is very didactic in order not to be confused. Like yellow is yellow and green is green. Proceed.
Yes. So this was how I wanted to do it, but it was so late and I wanted to, because I have to wake up very early to come to work. I decided, okay, I'll continue it today after our class. I'll watch the videos on YouTube, then I'll complete it. Yeah. So I just started, but I've not been able to complete it, but I got the idea though. I got the idea.
When you include materials, the same material in different material centers, it's also possible, and the decision is yours. If you want to, let's see, steel form line 15, steel formwork panels. These steel formwork panels may be under Material Center 1 and also under Material Center 2, because you want to show, you want to classify, you want to calculate materials in such a way that Material Center 1 means some materials you want to follow, you want to control and monitor. And the Material Center 2 is another center where you want to show something for somebody. No problem. The material can belong to different material centers. And also, when you create a call center, please look for call center icon on the left.
Okay.
The one before the last material center. Okay. Yes. Just click and make an double click on total cost. No, the line. Yes. Please look at participants.
Okay.
You may include just a specific steel form work. Below ads. No, not the center. Yes. The material. Yeah, no, below. Yes, ads.
Okay.
Steel. Yes. Okay. Imagine you want to sum all the costs you have, and including just the cost of steel formwork panels.
Okay.
Why did you decide to include? It's a problem of yours. You want to see the costs, total costs, means the money, reach costs, main costs, tax costs, and also the steel formwork panels. Why did you decide? Just because you want to show the costs you have compounded by these three cost components, and also the cost just of steel formwork panel.
Okay.
So the materials can be added to cost centers, and material can be added also to material centers. And we will see in the future, they can be added to material sets. Material set means that a compound of different materials to be just a set. When you assign a set specific sets, I mean electrical sets. All the materials in these sets will be added automatically and together. When you want to suggest cable, okay, you may assign cable to your activity, but when you add or when you assign electric cable sets, it will include just not on the cable, but also the insulator and also the fixed nuts and everything together as a set to fix and to assign your cable in your
yes, like probably like an example, like concrete. Let's say concrete. Concrete has the sand, cement, water, and aggregates. Yes,
Yes,
so all those materials come together to form the concrete.
it depends on your model. Just imagine, I want to assign 10 cubic meters of concrete in my work, in my activity. Okay, I will buy concrete, so I will assign concrete 10 cubic meters at my activity. How much does it cost? Okay, there's a price. There is a cost component for it. But imagine I am making the concrete inside my site. So I will have to fix. The concrete sets means amount of sand, amount of stones, and amount of cement, I think. And some amount of water.
Yes.
Did you understand? And when you say I want 1 cubic meter, all these 4 components will be added automatically and will be calculated by 1 cubic meter for concrete. How much it will cost? Okay, the price of the cement, the price of the sand and the stone and the water will come into the activity automatically calculated. Not only the quantity, but also the price of everything. But we're not talking about material sets. Not yet. Because the cost will be too extensive. Anyway, we have not said good morning to Rafael yet.
Rafael, good morning.
Morning, guys. A lot of calls. Yeah.
Yeah. The questions you have, not now, but the questions you have, you may write down in the Telegram. You may start a conversation or may start even a video. There is no problem. The problem is if you don't ask your question. You must ask your question, not to be so, ashamed. Okay, today is the last resource day. Not the easy one, not the easier one, but the last one. We have to discern about resource, the resource center, resource, but which kind of resource? The labor resource, the workman, and equipment. The resource like labor and equipment are measured by hours. They are the force that makes activity. They are the force that make activities be complete, be done. You must have energy, the work labor force, and materials. We have seen materials, and we have seen costs that buys everything. We have to also talk about resource guns. And yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I made a short video to remind what we have seen in cost components, cost resource, material components, and material resource, material applied to our projects. Have you saw this video? Have you seen this video, Rafael? Rafael?
No.
No?
Material,
No, not on material. Half an hour video I made on Saturday. Have you seen my money?
No.
Yeah, the one you were speaking Portuguese and with the
Yes,
English
it was in
subtitles.
Portuguese. could use the
Yes, I saw
legends.
bit of it. Yeah. I use the I use the subtitles. I watched bit of it, but I'll be going over it again.
Mm, okay, I was not inspired to make it in English. Mamani and Rafael, the meeting number 9 means that we also have components, centers, and we also have graphic and histograms, graphics, histograms. But just remembering, schedule and resource management is not yet planning. We won't see resource skill. Resource skill means that instead of applying or assigning a person or a specific equipment, I mean, generator number 1, truck number 1, or Mr. Smith as a specific assignment, we may assign a skill. Imagine carpenters. You have 10, 12 carpenters to work on your projects, on your sites. You may inform that you have a skill, a carpenter. And in this skill, you will assign or you will include all the carpenters specific name or carpenter specific identify codes or specific name. When you apply a carpenter, the algorithm will choose which carpenter will work on that activity and which other carpenter will work on the next activity, because they cannot work at the same in 2 activities at the same time. So when you use skill, you have a gain. You do not you are not worried to think or to choose a specific person on a specific equipment. You just say, I want a specific skill, and there is a list of people or equipments in such skill, and the algorithm will choose with specific person, which specific equipment you have working on this activity. That's interesting because you may have a list of 20 or 30 equipments or trucks, and there are some cheaper trucks and more expensive trucks, more productivity equipments and less productive equipments, and may choose, not you, but the program may choose which is the best equipment to use. Best, I mean, the cheapest or the most productive equipment you have. Got it, Mamani and Rafael? So said, okay. But we won't talk about skill. We are going to talk about the common elements of our Spider program feature. You know, when you edit a specific material, you also added some parameters, some attributes. Quantity, you have quantity you want to assign, the unity, a liter, cubic meters, square meters, but you also applied or included the cost of the material. In resource assignments, resource table, we also may inform the resource parameters, but also how much the resource costs and how is the cost composition of this resource. But not only the money or the cost of this resource, but also the material this resource consumes. Because as well as water. Labor or a carpenter or a bricklayer. One bricklayer means a resource labor, but the bricklayer costs his salary, money, but the bricklayer may also drink water, use water. And speaking about water again. And these assignments, these cross assignments, it's a very interesting feature the Spider program has in order to facilitate, to make it easy for us to make our resource composition, not to have, to assign every part of your resource item. You may include just a resource and every cost will come with him. When you assign a resource, every material he consumes are applied with him in your activity. So to show it, I have to open water words. I think it's water words. Yes, I think. Number 3, version number 3. And look for view resource, because we have seen costs, materials, now resource. We have 7 items here, more than 7, yes, 7. The table of the resource, table for resource skills, a table for resource center, but we are not looking into everyone, just for resource. Control resource. As you see, I have 2 resources here that I decide to use. Line 1, bricklayer. Line 2, labor. They are red because there's a reason. Reddish, not red, reddish. Not so red as my money is red, but reddish. And when you insert a new resource, double click line 1, and you see the resource data information. You also saw in material and cost center. I mean, data, the name, the codes, please give a professional codes. Quantity, this is the only resource you begin giving the limit quantity you have, the available quantity you have. I'm informing that I have 6 bricklayer. The Spider project will keep it in mind. Please look at this column. Quantity 6, labor, change here. 3 available workers. Let's come back to bricklayer. Calendar is the most important information we have in resource labor, resource as equipment, because the one who is really responsible for the activity success is not the material, not even the cost. You may have money, but the activity doesn't happen. You may have material, but even still the activity will not happen. But if you have labor and material, I'm not saying money. If you have material and you have resource labor, the activity may happen. Calendar, color, okay. Send notifications before. Imagine if you're not classifying bricklayers, but if you are including people, specific labors, you may send them some information about work according to their email address some days before they start working, like a timesheet or like a pre-scheduled work reports. Type, as you know, all the registering tables have here to classify which kind of work bricklayer is. That's the information data. But when it comes to cost components, you may say, this bricklayer will have some gonna CDs. By the way, Mamani, CDs is with C or with S?
It's with C. C.
Okay. So it's not wrong here. He will want 80 seeds per hour because he's a bricklayer that earns in CDs, and there are not any other cost components to make the cost of this function, this skill. What I want to say, that you may include not just the salary, but also adds the taxes, the additional money he earns, and a lot of cost components that together will make the amount of money bricklayer will have after finishing his hour work. Data, main information about the resource, cost components, the components that will fill the total cost of this hour costs, because workers, equipment earns by hour, not just by, because if you want to have a fixed cost because the use of this bricklayer, you have to assign a cost fixed component. Materials, this bricklayer drink water, this bricklayer drinks water and also take a shower. I mean, he drinks 1 liter per hour. That sounds reasonable for you, Rafael? 1 liter per hour? If you may,
Yeah.
if you may choose it to half a liter.
If you are working with this civil, I think it's 1 liter per hour is more than okay.
Okay. If you consult regular work rules, probably they will advise you to fix 1 liter per hour. Anyway, this bricklayer at the end of his work probably want to take a shower. A shower bath may spend 100 liters for each worker. 100 liters divided by 8 hours a day means that this worker spends 12.5 liters per hour in a day. Okay, when you apply or when you assign this bricklayer into your work, it will also bring water, portable or drinkable, and common local mean, not important, water. It is easier instead of assign a bricklayer and assign an amount of water and assign again another amount of potable water. And if you change the number of bricklayers to activity, you would have to change the number of liters. So it is easy. If you change the number of bricklayers, the consumption of water will be changed automatically. And also, water has cost components. So if you change the number of bricklayers, it will automatically change the liters of waters it consumes, and the activity will be changed. Also, the money or the costs for the water, also the costs of the bricklayer's payments. That was clear for you all? I think it is one of the most worthy future Spider has. By the way, good morning to them. Are you okay? Joseph? Probably he's okay.
He's fixing his audio. He's
Okay,
fixing his audio.
Data. cost components, material this resource consumes or uses, material sets we are not talking about, and a lot of information here. Notes, please write down every information about this resource. Okay, Joseph, please.
Good morning. I'm okay. I think it was my audio.
I think he's testing his mic. His mic is still not working.
It is not still working.
Yeah, his mic is still not working.
Proceeding here, bricklayer, double click, and the window will allow you to include all the information. If you change to labor, of course, labors, simply labor, also have water, and he has imported water consumption. I think his shower is not by local water. His shower is the imported water is provided for his shower, but he also drinks drinking water here, 1 liter per hour. Material cost components, cost in dollar and in Ghana cedis. Dollar. $1, $0.8 per hour and 80 cents per hour. There are 2 component costs to express how much this labor costs for this project. Okay, at the same registry, at the same resource, we could inform common data, basic data, the calendar that I said it is important, but also we could assign indirectly materials and costs. This is the reason we left resource labor equipments as the last resource assignment in our projects, in our work. We had to new cost components before knowing material resource as a sequence of information, and just after cost and material, we could really understand how to assign or create a resource labor and inform all the dependencies this resource has to our Joseph's deck, to our projects. Resource table, I will fix it on the right, and view, resource center, as well as we have seen material and costs. Okay.
Okay. I think I'm back now.
Are you okay? No fevers, no.
Good morning. I'm very okay. I went for a review, a quick one, and then I'm okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Talking about resource center, resource labor, resource equipment center. Double click. Identification here. Participants. I include in this center bricklayer and labor. Imagine there is the general resource center where I can see all the costs of these resources, the number of hours, worked hours for these resources, the consumptions for these resources, or another resource center to see and to control some of my resources, some from my resource list. Do you know the difference between centers and components? Because I have also spoken for cost components and for material components. Okay. If you have the resource the resource table, you may choose an activity to include, or to assign resource. In this cleaning and finalization, washing, circulation areas, properties, or double click. This activity has cost components, and money that I will give for the production of this activity. I mean, I will spend $100 for a license. To start cleaning and finalization, I must pay a license. Here, okay, not gonna see it. I will spending $1. Okay, add $1. I will spend $100. So applying this activity consumes $100 as a license. Okay, gonna see it. Zero, delete. No gonna seeds or no seeds as a license. But this $100 means a license payment. Plus components, materials I use to make this activity to be completed as part of the production of this activity. Okay, local, portable. We need some 2,500 liters at the ends. Please look at the profile at the ends. Nothing at the beginning and everything at the last hour of our production. That means that after finishing my cleaning and finalization, I have to wash it. Wash it with potable water? No. Wash it with local water. 2,500 and 0.0 2,100 liters. Okay, after finishing my cleaning and finalization, I will wash it out. Cost for a license. Material just for wash. I mean, when I use watch in this activity, you remember the cost of water will be added automatically into our calculation. Which other material I have? No other one. Additional, no, sorry, resource, costs, materials. And now, who is going to work in this activity? To make it done, I will need a bricklayer. That's just an example, please. A bricklayer. Are you taking him out? Okay, let's include a resource to work on this activity. There is a list of activities. Imagine there are dozens, hundreds of workers here, hundreds of skills here. Okay, let me filter by select only type. That's the reason we have types for every resource. Okay, bricklayer. Okay, bricklayer. I include a bricklayer. A bricklayer means one bricklayer or two bricklayers. Quantity, I will say they will work 100% of their time. No, these two workers will work only 90% of their times. That means that if you have a specific volume to do, and if you have a specific quantity of worker, the system will calculate the time of this activity according to the number of workers, the workloads of the workers you set, and the productivity you will inform. Each bricklayer produce 1 square meter by hour, 2 square meters by hour. According to the quantity, the productivity, or half square meters by hour. According to the quantity, productivity, and workload parameters, the time of production, the production time of this activity will be calculated. We are working just with duration type activities. We are not working up to now with productivity type activities. So it doesn't matter for us now. Resource here may be classified, may be included with workloads and productivity information, but they won't be considered in CPM calculation because we are using just fixed duration type activities. Okay for you? That was clear? Rafael? It's missing Joseph? Okay. Again, I informed that this activity has some costs because it depends on money. I said there was a license. I included a license here. Materials. The activity needs water because itself, not because the worker. I said that it will be washed at the end. And resource. I need a bricklayer and I need also a labor. I mean, 1 bricklayer and 2 laborers. 1 bricklayer, 2 laborers. Productivity, 100%. Bricklayer, productivity, 100%. Oh, sorry. Resource. Team 1. Team 1 means a group of people working as a team, a group. But I may set another team with other, because I have 6 bricklayers. I'm using 1 here, and in this team, I will assign another bricklayer, another 1. There are 2 teams, the first group with 2 laborers, and the second group, just 1, not a group, it's a lonely worker. This activity will be produced by 2 teams. We are not talking about teams this course, so I will delete it. Okay. Double click on the activity as the same as cost component, material components. You may assign costs, you may assign materials, and now you assign resource labor and resource equipment here. I delete these graphics and I will open and uncollapse the activity. Right click, properties, delete, include, expand. Where is it? Expand, include, expand the collection. No, there is no shortcut. Just click on this cross and you see under the activity 2 yellowish lines. Remembering, you have a line for the projects, you have a line for deliverables, phase, classification, work breakdown structure. You have a line for activity. You have a line for resource assignments. That means that's different from projects, MS projects. This line is not being confused or mixed with other lines. This is project line. It won't be mixed, won't be confused with other lines like activity, deliverable, or assignments. These are white line. This is a specific table. This is a specific registry. And these are activities. They are not the same objects with a different classification. They are different objects with different classification, with different tables, and you can deal with them by this system windows. Each icon here means a table. Activities, there's a table for the link between activities. There's a table for resource information, for resource centers. There is a table for cost component. There is not a mix of information by columns. There are tables to complete each other and relationship with each other. And these two yellowish lines means that they are not even an activity. But please, they are not resource. They are assignments. Let's show it in another way. Diagrams, resource Gantt, material Gantt that you have also seen on Friday. These are activities. No, these are materials. And the colored lines here are not activities. These are materials, what local, what imported, but these blue lines are not activities. They are assignments. Material, assignment to activity. It is a material and its relationship with activity table. It is an activity and its relationship with resource table. View, diagrams, resource. Resource Gantt means like material Gantt. You may have seen in the video I produced last Saturday. You have the resource, real resource from the table, and some activity assignments. They are not activities here. They are activity assignment relationship with the resource. What you see here is not the activity. What you see here is not the resource. What you see here is the assignment. Line for projects, line for activities, line for deliverable, work package, and the line for assignments. That's very important not to be confused. This was clear for you all. Thumbs up, please. Okay, for my money, I repeat if necessary. In Gantt activity, I think is the most common Gantt we see. It is possible to see projects, to look into the big deliverable, the big deliverables, the most important phases or the most important work package. And then you will see the activities that work for this work package. The activities that are together producing the work package. Inside each activity, you may click on the cross just to see bricklayer, the resource, and the material, this bricklayer consumes. If you click on the cross, you expand the activity into its assignments. Yellow shoe one, resource label assignments. Blue shoe one, blue others. The material that the bricklayer consumes. If you make a right click on the activity headline and ask for expand and collapse materials, you will see not the materials resource demands, but the materials the activity demands. In order to illustrate, I will hide all the columns on the right, and I'll show you that show columns. You may select resource assignments, material assignment, material consumptions, resource assignments, fixed, productivity, quantity. I will show quantity. One bricklayer for site setup. One bricklayer for site setup dust control. Let's change here. Double click. Oh, sorry. Double click line one. Resource. I will add a new resource called labor just to make something different here. Again, one bricklayer, one labor, double click, two layer. Instead of assigning resource by the activity window, I may do it by columns. So show columns, resource assignment, quantity. There are lots of information you can set, but it's too much information for us. Now, workload. Okay, that's quite enough. But you may also inform assignment information for material. Okay, show column, material consumption per hour. Fixed. I'm just choosing some information to show on our layouts. Okay. 4,000 liters for the activity. Calculating. Please, I made up some assignment information. Let's look for material. Imported local potable fixes 4,000 liters for this activity. 4,000 liters for this activity. 4,000 liters for this. So this activity will consume 4,000 liters because I informed 4,000 liters fixes. That's for materials, okay? Show, column, standard, quantity, show. It's the same for assignments. Let's move together before workload. Okay? Standard, quantity, productivity. Let's see some other resource hours. Calculating just to be sure that nothing is missing. Okay, bricklayer, quantity, 32 work hours, because there's a duration here, probably 4 days, 32 work hours, hundreds, thousands of liters. How about consumption here? Local material, let's see if fixed, okay, remaining. I have not shown material, everything remaining or cumulative, okay. Now I know the amount of work this activity has, 32 plus 16 equals to 48 hours. The amount of water, imported water, amount of local water and potable water. Oh my God. They spent too much water in this activity. Let's control on sites. Okay? So, resuming. The deliverable has its activity. And you can collapse or expand the materials you use in each activity, or you can expand or collapse the resource. If you want to see just the resource, head of the line, and what is it? Where's the button? Maybe here. Okay. You click on the resource labor line and show. I got everything. Show or not show the materials here. Collapse, okay. Properties. Show. Oh, there's a way to show just the bricklayer materials it consumes. Here, collapse. Here, collapse. There should be an easier way to do that. Should collapse. Okay. Now you see the bricklayer resource labor assignments and the materials under the resource label, or hide it. Just the bricklayers. I hope. Show everybody. Resource. What are the resource? Show everybody, and then collapse the materials. You see just the labors. Assignment for labors. Resource labors. That's right. Okay? After assigning all the resource to your work, you will be able to produce some graphics, some information about it. In activity guides, you may choose direct work, reporting diagrams, choose a table or a diagram, and use resource table, because now you have two workers, or resource center, because now we have two resource centers. This one is not working, but two resource center. Bricklayer, quantity. Okay, let's see quantity of bricklayers we have. Quantity, not cumulative. I want to see it week by week, forwards, week by week. Okay. I want to see in blue color, because I like blue. Just it's the only reason to be blue. Ready? And I will make this height a bit longer. And I ask for the numbers, the quantity be shown here. Settings, show scale, 0 decimal places. Okay. Every week we use bricklayers. In direct work, we use 3 bricklayers the first week and 10 bricklayers at this January last week. Mamanis, this graphic, this graphic does not really, this graph shows us that we do not really have 10 bricklayers. If you do remember diagrams, resource were reddish because not so red as your red, but because we have 6 and we scheduled 10. Why I'm saying that you have scheduled 10? Because I assign resource to every activity here. Do not mind if not taking consideration if I had or not enough bricklayers to accomplish the work. And now the result is a warning. The schedule is done, but the work won't be done. The schedule is red to show to your immediate boss, as Joseph said once, but it will be aligned because you do not have bricklayers to accomplish your work. Is it clear for you, Joseph, that you don't have bricklayers to complete the intentional schedule? If you plan this, you make complete your work. You have just to show your resource table and say, now I have 1,000 bricklayer and I have 1,000 units of labor. If I calculate schedule by CPM, everything is all right. Everything is okay. I need 10, but I have 1,000. That's for bricklayers, or that's also for labor. Resource, labor, quantity to the right side, to the right panel. Instead of saying by a line graph, I will make it by column split. Blue is bricklayers and the yellow are the labors. The yellows are labors and they are not reddish. Okay, let's make things through. Resource, I had just 6 bricklayers and 3 labors. That's what I really have. I knew it before scheduling. Calculating again, you see that not all bricklayers are over allocated, but also the labors. It's the histogram of consumption or consumption, and this is schedule. This schedule is properly done. It's very well built, no errors, no problem linking everything together here. Everything's okay, but it's not feasible because resource table asks me to include or to inform the quantity I have. Double click on bricklayer, the quantity I have, the availability. In this graph, I may set show me resource availability in green. The green means the utmost I have for bricklayers. The green shows me 3 is the available labor quantity. That's a colored graph that shows you what you have, what you use, and what you do not have. We will see next Friday that instead of calculating by CPM, you could calculate your schedule by how much resource you really have to work. If you work scheduling by resources, you see that all the resource columns are not red, are just blue or yellow, and there are even space for other activities for our people. But please, the dates came into May the 4th, and before it was April 28th. To accomplish this work with the workers you have to review your final target date. This is not feasible, it's a lie, and this is probably true. At least you really have the number of workers you need to accomplish the activities. You need to fulfill all the work packages. You may even try a bit more. Oh, that's just optimize it. Anyway, Caddo CPM method calculation shows you the information about resource, labor, and equipment you have. But remember, we had some materials here, water and cost. We have some other resources, but materials, let's see materials, water, all water. We see here the water we need for our work. By week, just for the center, all the water we need, cumulative to see how much water of each water we'll need, but there is no red alert here. There is no warning here that you do not have water. They are not red here. They are not reddish here. It's possible to see if you have water or not, but you must inform the water we have. When you included your material in your material table, double click, you said name, codes, units, type, but you had not included here the quantity of water you have. Because by principles, water and money, materials and money, they have a different behavior from labor, people, or equipment behavior. So you need to inform, not now, but on Friday, you need to inform how much water you have every day, every season, every month, at the beginning. You may include here the water we have, the kind of water, the type of water, or we may inform here the money we have now or tomorrow, but we're not going to talk about this. And the reddish, oh my God, I think I lose the layout. The red columns we had for work, for people and labors, I lose it. Oh, I have it here. The reddish information we have in resource histograms. We will have for materials too, but you have to inform when water came in, and then if there is another supply of water, we will see if this blue consumption graph will be really blue and not red and blue. Imagine your account bank. Sometimes your account bank is blue, sometimes it's not blue, it's red, like a cash flow. On Friday, I think we'll be able to see the cash flow for money. I don't have alcohol yet. This red is just because I choose red to show. You have a cash flow positive, or you have sometime a red bar means that your account back is negative. As well as for water. Sometimes you have positive storage, positive storage balance. Sometimes you have negative quantity in your storage. By the way, a question for you all. Thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you disagree. Is it possible to make your work without resource like labors and equipments? Rafael said no. Maman said no. Okay. Jeff, do you agree? Okay. Is it possible to work and conclude and finish your activities with workers but without materials? Okay. Please look to this graphic here. That's clear for you that this schedule is not really true. Because we are being informed that we do not have workers. The last question, is it possible to have your activities produced, finished, completed with no money in the bank? Rafael, I would like to disagree. I would say it's not possible to produce, to finish your work without money forever. But it's possible to finish your work without money for a time. That means you see this alarm, this warning red columns here for your worker. That means you won't be able to complete your work. It won't be able to finish your work as you scheduled. When you see the balance storage of your materials, you say it won't be able to finish. I won't be able to finish my work because without materials, it's impossible to build, to produce anything. But when you see your cash flow negative, that means that you do not have money to pay the work that was done. You won't have the money to pay the work that you will have to do. But it's possible to do the work, consume materials, and become in debts with all your suppliers. Is that possible, Rafael? So the only situation that your schedule really is not feasible, the only condition that your schedule is not really feasible, you can prove is when you have not enough labors quantity available, or if you do not have materials to finish your work. Money banks can rent, how to say, the banks can?
Loan.
Yes, a loan. And of course, you can see not only the cash flow here, but you also can see how much is costing your loan. Okay? Rafael wrote something here. Let's see. Have you? Where is chat? Where is the chat? Chat? You can see the chat.
It's a message for the future class.
Where's the chat? I can't see the chat here.
Can you see it now?
Where is it? Where is the chat?
Was in Telegram.
Let me type something.
In Telegram. Let's
Yeah,
see
it's in
Telegram.
Telegram.
Let's see Telegram. Wrote this after the last match one. I'm going to see how resource can be in a conflict means that also the concept. Okay, but not today.
Yeah,
He's leaving.
I wrote it after our last message,
Okay.
but I didn't send.
Okay. And I think resource assignments, resource labor assignments, labor or equipment. I think I have finished with the main information I should give to you, because really there for resource assignments, material and resource labor, it's a complete, it's a new word. It's something very extensive. It's too much rich to explain in just a single or 2 hours. I would like I'd say that would spend 3 weeks just to cover the resource and material information that you can use, but months to use everything in different assignment way and modeling way. Thiago and Daniel, probably knowing the features we have, assignment kind of skill sets, they are able to model a lot of different situations of consuming, scheduling, and planning resource and time. But there are too many different ways of doing this with the same features. We have just scratched the first surface. Resource, quantity available, cost components, material usage, but skills, mode resource, teams, shifts are much to reach, there are much to reachers. They're richer than we have just explained now. Let's see. I have talked about this and this. Not forget anything. Materials, okay. Reach, resource, activity. Assignments, just to remind you. Activity is the work to be done. The work to be completed. But to complete this work, to finish with the work, we must assign cost, material, and resource. And that's we're finished today. We have just talked about cost, material, and today about resource. Just to be, though, to insist, we have not planned it yet. We must think about risk management. Schedule is the moments when activity will be produced, will be done. Cost, material, and resource management are part of our planning, but the plan will finish just after we finish with we'll finish our risk analysis. Not a very deep and complex risk analysis, but a simple risk analysis of our cost uncertainties, material suppliers uncertainties. Okay. How many?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. With remote connection, still works with the resource labor assignments. Resource table, it may be uploaded to web. So test it, please. Finishing with half an hour later, but as Joseph came after we have started, I'd like to ask Mamani and you any other question, or by now with so many information, any questions that I could help you now?
For now, it's so much information to digest. So
Yes.
we'll go over the video, and if there are any questions, we'll put it in the Telegram chat.
Okay, but Mamani and Joseph, did you know that assignment resource would be so complex or so rich as I showed you?
Not really. I've never actually done that in either Microsoft project or Primavera or Spider. So actually, this is my first time. But I've as to assigning resources to activities, yeah, I've done that, but not in Microsoft project or Primavera.
Mhm. And, I think when you get the idea of a resource can contain materials and costs, different cost components and different materials, because it needs these materials or equipments. It makes easier to deal with your schedule, because if you change the number of workers, everything changes together without taking to recalculate every assigned parts to the components, to the resource, every activity you change it. I think it's really more powerful than Microsoft projects or Primavera, and make your simulations easier when you try things. Okay, I will keep a Telegram message open, and as soon as you need, please type there.
Okay, we will.
Bye bye.
Okay, goodbye. Bye bye.